And I basically, like, I had one girl I went out on a date with. I had one girl, she told me I look like a hipster because I had my glasses on and everything. She's like, you look like a hipster. And she's like, there's nothing wrong with that, like, but that's just like how you come off. And so I guess like I have like that hipster vibe. Hey guys, 2 years ago, I started this channel talking about like cars and minimalism and like life and college. And it's been crazy because like 2 years have gone by, right? So I kind of want to give everybody an update on like where I'm at with certain things. And so today in this video, we're gonna get kind of updated on like my journey through minimalism. So I guess in a nutshell, the best way that I would probably sum up my journey through minimalism thus far would be that it's not as defined as it used to be. I can remember like 2 years ago watching YouTubers, what's the guy's name, like Ronald Banks, Nate O'Brien, people like that, who I drew like a great inspiration from. I can say like, for example, like with Nate O'Brien, I can remember like he had this one video of like his Philly apartment where he had like only like one sofa and like one this and one that, and like he had his whole dress was like all black and he had like the all black jacket. And I drew so much inspiration from that. I literally like the next day went out to Target and like purchased like a crap load of like black stuff. Like even still to this day I have some of that stuff, like black shirts, black jeans. I started wearing like the little skater Vans and stuff. But I started buying like the little skater Vans from Target just because the real Vans are like 50 bucks. The little skater Vans from Target are 20 bucks, and I mean they look literally the same. So anyways, I digress. I drew like so much inspiration from these guys, and not realizing it, I kind of was like jockeying their style, you know, trying to be like minimalist, so freaking tough. I can remember like Ronald Banks watching his videos, and you know, he had like these dry fit shirts and then like the short haircut. And what I found myself doing, like as I was watching like these different minimalist YouTubers, I even saw one guy, what actually was a girl. She had literally all she had in her apartment was like a hammock. Like she didn't have a bed, and I think I talked about this in my last minimalist video from 2 years ago. But she didn't even have a bed, you know. And so I mean I could never go like that far into minimalism, but I did go pretty far into it in the sense of like I started changing like who I was, and it was for the better for a period of time, but then I kind of developed my own sense of style coming off of that. And so what I found is like the sense of style that I like to dress up and like how I like to look didn't really match like that of a minimalist. Now there are days where I do go minimalist and I will just wear like a t-shirt, like a gray t-shirt, like some khaki shorts, and like maybe I'll throw on my Vans, or I'll throw on like some Birkenstocks. There's days where I'll do that, but then there's other days like where I would like to wear like a nice flannel, and then like when it was cold outside I would wear a beanie. And I basically, like, I had one girl I went out on a date with. I had one girl, she told me I look like a hipster because I had my glasses on and everything. She's like, you look like a hipster. And she's like, there's nothing wrong with that, like, but that's just like how you come off. And so I guess like I have like that hipster vibe. I'm cool with it. I'm fine with being a hipster. Like, hey, that's me, that's me. And so I'm saying that to say like the style that I kind of got from like those guys really didn't represent me. And so I kind of evolved upon the things that I had purchased from that period of my life. Another thing that I'll talk about as far as like me defining like my own level of minimalism was like furniture and like decorations in my house and like possessions, because like that's a big thing in like the traditional minimalist world. Is like you don't want to own anything. Like you don't want to have no bank accounts, You don't want to have no credit cards. You don't want to have like no furniture. Like the idea and the core concept of minimalism in and of itself, traditionally speaking, is to have less stuff. And so by having less stuff, idealistically your mind is supposed to be less cluttered, and you're supposed to be able to enjoy life a bit more by having less stuff. But the opposite kind of happened for me, because I kind of found myself like depriving myself of life because I was trying to like do less and have less. For example, I'm really big on like gardening, and I'm really big on like having plants and stuff like that. Like I have a whole like plant section in my apartment, in my bedroom, and then I also have like a whole like little gardening area on my balcony as well. So like, I don't know, like I just like plants a lot. It's just something about like being out in nature. And that's why you guys can kind of see the backdrop. I chose an apartment where I literally had like a great view of nature. I don't know, I just love nature. I kind of find myself like in minimalism, like having the mindset of minimalism, like I was trying to get rid of stuff. Like I would have thought to myself, if I still had my like deep, like hardcore mindset of minimalism, like, oh, why am I gonna buy some plants? Like, oh, like that's a waste of money, because like these plants probably cost me, you know, anywhere between $200-300, because I got the nice little decorative pots with them. You know, I went and bought like the little string lights and stuff, so it has a nice vibe out to it at night. For my bedroom, I purchased like a nice little stand that goes like with the rest of my bedroom decor, where my indoor plants can sit, and kind of create like a safari kind of look in the bedroom. And I also plan on putting some shelves up in the bedroom, so I can put like some plants that kind of hang and create like more of that safari, like kind of like boho-ish feel. So in saying like all of that, you know, these are the things that I enjoy. Like I enjoy plants. I enjoy spending my money on like other things. And so, you know, I think that for me, I was in the early stages of my minimalist when I made that video 2 years ago. I had kind of went like too like hardcore with it. Like I started getting rid of stuff. Like I started like throwing stuff away, like just giving stuff away. You know, I think that, you know, it's good to give, you know, too much is given, you know, you're gonna be blessed on what you give. But there's some things that I gave away that I wish I had today. You know, I would tell anybody, you know, if you're thinking about beginning a minimalist journey, and you're not too sure like where to get started, I would say like ease yourself into it, because I'm kind of like, so I'm a Scorpio, and if anybody knows anything about Scorpios, like we're very extreme individuals. And so like we go from like 0 to 100 like real quick. And you know, the thing with that is like life is probably better like in a balanced sense. So like, you know, on a spectrum of like 0 to 100, like it's best to probably like be in the middle at like 50 to 60, like somewhere around there. But like, I don't know, like my mind just kind of like just says like, okay, like if you're gonna do this, like you need to go all into it. And if you're not gonna do it, like, you know, don't do it at all. You know, if you're not gonna give 100, like don't do it at all. Like that's kind of like my mindset when it comes to doing things, like not even just minimalism, but like just things in life. And so like that's kind of how I went into minimalism. It's like nosedive, like 100% in. I was like, I don't need a bed, I don't need a sofa, I don't need a blanket, I don't need none of this stuff, because I had like built up collections of like shoes, hats, curtain rods, I mean pictures that I had like placed on the wall that I had gotten, people had gave to me, or I had gotten from like Goodwill and stuff on a really good deal. I ended up going and taking a lot of the stuff that I bought from Goodwill, I literally took it back to Goodwill, you know? And you know, the guy's looking at me, he's like, man, this looks like some good stuff. I said, yeah, I got it out of here. So, you know, I'll tell people, man, like, you know, don't be so quick to just get rid of like everything. So on another note of things, like I do still believe that I'm a minimalist, Even though my version of minimalism might not look like the most traditional concept of minimalist, I am very probably in the sense of like my apartment, probably like semi minimalist, but like financially, I am very minimalist. I mean, aside from like spending money on like the plants that I got, which I think, you know, is a one time purchase. Like, I'm not about to be out here purchasing these plants like every 2 weeks. I'm very minimalist. Like, I don't spend money on anything. Um, you know, I have my car, I have my rent, um, I have gas, I have food, and I mean that's really it. Like, I don't spend money on anything. Like, I do still try to enjoy life. I go out with friends on the weekend. I go to church on Sundays, but I don't spend a lot of money. Like, oh, well, I need to go do this, or like, oh, I need to go do this, or you know, some people are just kind of in the shopping sphere like all the time, and you know, I think that's a whole other video, because I think at times we can be unsatisfied with our lives, even though like we've done a lot in our lives and there's a lot to be content with, there's a lot for us to be happy with. A lot of us kind of just buy things, and we buy those new shiny things, you know, just to kind of feel something in that moment, but then it wears off and then you're looking for the next thrill. And so just from a financial perspective, like, I'm very minimalist. I've saved probably like 50 to 60% of my income. um, so I think it's okay for minimalism to look a little bit different for everybody. Okay, guys. And with that being said, part two is coming. I got more stuff to say on this topic. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. My name is Joseph, and until the next time, I'm out. Peace.